I came into this season knowing that we were not in a good place, but I thought, we're both going through hard times. This is when we should be leaning on each other. And I tried that approach and it wasn't working. And I think that was a lot of my frustration too. I just thought life's too short. Why are we doing this? And we were not in a good place after she read my text at the reunion, and I
Mhm.
lost a lot of trust there. So just trying to work through those things and trying to get that trust back. And we're better than we were at the beginning of the season, but is our relationship the same right now? No.
That was one of my questions for you was, can you imagine being friends with her again? And what
Oh
really
yeah,
is
I can. I can. I think that if you've ever cared about somebody um that much, and I think there's always room for repair, assuming they haven't done something horrendous to each other. I think there's always a way back. The thing is, it was mainly about, well, we'll see an episode. It was more about DMing things, and it was like things online, not, and I was trying to explain, like, we've always done that, sending each other jokes and stuff, but it just felt like it was being made a bigger thing. And having to explain, like, are there text messages after being friends for 10 years? Of course, but I'm not talking about I'm not gossiping about your wife to you. So anyway, I just that was really frustrating, and just felt like, okay, looking any excuse to come at me, and I just don't have it in me right now. Like, I know my character, and
yeah.
my character, just stop. Seeing the photos, there was like speculation that I think Kathy said, how upset I was and this and that. Obviously that was weird for me to see,
Mhm.
for my entire adult life, basically. I've never seen him, with anybody. So that was a shock. But at the same time, I wasn't angry. He has the right to do what he wants while, we are separated. Like, he has the right to do. I have the right to do whatever I want.
Mhm.
And he just happened to get caught by paparazzi, which unfortunately is part of our life. So I
Mhm.
wasn't faulting him for that. I really wasn't. And some of the women, I think, were more angry than I was. I was surprised, and, it was weird to see, but I wasn't angry with him. When we separated and we said, we need to do this, obviously separating, comes with risks, and, especially, being in the public eye and everything. So yes, that was a conversation that we had, and we do have more conversations on camera this season. Well, she came into this season apologizing to me for last season and saying I haven't been a good friend. And I do believe she meant that. And, I'm someone, if I say something, I mean it. And so I trust when someone's saying that to me, that they mean that too. So, I was enjoying being with her this season, and Garcelle, and the three of us hanging out together. And I really was enjoying that dynamic. And then, you see the trailer, and she's like, well, I'm not going to bow down to the altar of Kyle Richards. And I'm like, that doesn't match anything, like, why is she talking like that? Like, I thought we're friends. So then I'm left in this position again of like, who do I trust? Like, is she being genuine with me, or, or is she being disingenuous on camera, or vice versa? And then you're left like, I don't know who's my friend here. So that's why for me, as much as I, care about these women, there's some I obviously trust more than others. And Erica's been someone who's been steadfast always, and been extremely supportive, and never wavered, and never made me question her friendship. You know, what's hard is that I can only speak on my behalf. I'm not here to speak on anyone's behalf but my own, especially someone who's not signed up to do this show and doesn't want to be spoken about on the show. So that puts me in a very different position, So um with that said, I can only, what I do address is about me personally and my journey and what I'm going through and where I am at,
Mhm.
and just not addressing, her in particular, because it's just not fair to.
Yeah.
And, unless, I have to let her speak for herself. Yes, there's a number of things I'm stressed about them seeing. That scene in particular, walking off. I just don't feel like I was myself, and I don't feel like I was strong enough, honestly, to be shooting the show at that time. And I just really needed the women to kind of be there for me and support me. And obviously, I didn't feel that at all. So it just magnified my situation. So I'm not looking forward to seeing that. I'm nervous about some of my interviews and some of the things that I said, not only about myself, but, when you're talking about conflict with the other women and you're upset in the moment you say things, and now we've prepared things, and now you got to go back and relive that, and it just kicks all those feelings back up again. I, of course, always have some regrets at some points. Like, I mean, if I were to look back at my life without cameras, I don't have to think about it as much because, it's not recorded and coming back to haunt me. But I'm sure I've said things that I wish I hadn't said, or, commented on things I shouldn't have, but we don't have that luxury doing what we do. So yes, of course. I mean, I regret walking out that day. I regret not being in a stronger place and just holding my head high and saying what I needed from them instead of crumbling. But it's the first time that's happened to me in 14 years.
Mhm.
I've never called in sick. I've never not shown up to shoot. And I just needed a break. And I said, I just can't do this. And I had to let them know I can't shoot. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I don't know if I can do this anymore. And they, gave me that grace and said, take the time to rest. You need to, like, take care of yourself right now.
Yeah.
So it helped me to reflect and rest and, think about, coming back and what that means or versus not. And needless to say, I showed up after taking some time off.